Yes, we are going good. Okay, welcome to today's strength training class. I just got a text from someone who says they can't find my class. I'm just gonna respond real quick. Here we go. Let's see. Share. No, sorry. Hopefully we're getting it together here. Yeah, okay, good, found. Okay, yeah, so welcome and let's get started. I just want to remind you, if you are joining live, to please mute yourself, and that way we're not competing for sound. And let's see. Let me just shift my view here so I can make sure I see. Yeah, so, and if you want to also turn your video off, unless you want to be recorded and seen, yeah, you might want to turn your video off. It's fine if you don't mind being seen, but just letting you know that this is being recorded and will be shared out into the Ethernet world. So, all right, so before we get started today, I just want to say again a few things I'm going to be saying at the beginning of all of these classes, which is, please understand that just like with any other physical activity that you do, you are joining this one at your own risk, okay? And so I will advise you to reduce your risk by, one, ensuring that you've had enough rest before you get started with this. If any of these things apply to you, you didn't get much sleep last night, or you are under a significant amount of stress and strain, or you're just feeling a little bit tired or under the weather, then I would recommend either, if you want to continue with the class, that's fine, but continue with the mindset that you're not going to push to your limit, that you're here maybe just to get your body moving a little bit and to focus on your form and technique more so than trying to max out your effort. That's one suggestion. The other suggestion would be to not take this class today. Come back maybe tomorrow after you've had some rest. Manage your stress today. Just get a walk in. That's also a good option. So, all just remembering that our journey to being strong and to being healthy is lifelong. And it definitely requires listening to our bodies and honoring our energy levels. So if today's not a day to push hard, that's okay. That day will come. So just be honest with yourself, okay? So Monday we did our big movements that we did heavy lifting on were a two-legged squat and a press. So today we're going to be compensating for those with kind of alternative movements we're going to be doing at the end of the class. We're going to be working our way towards a single leg squat or split squat and a row. That's going to be our kind of heavy, climax movement. And I'm also going to be doing, as always, we're going to start with some mobility. Then we're going to move into some kind of lightly weighted stability training. Then we're going to do our sprint intervals. Then we're going to do our heavy. So that's how it's going to go today. So we got a lot to do. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm sitting in front of you because the mobility work we're going to do today is really, really simple. We're just going to be doing some rolling, really gentle rolling with our shoulders and our wrists. So what that looks like, let's start with the shoulders, and you can do this standing, you can do it sitting, but just some easy rolls, and we're going to be doing it for about 45 seconds in one direction. So go ahead and get started. This is a method that comes from the joint freeing series in the yoga tradition. And it's a really lovely, gentle way to start to warm up the joints and just get some fluid, get the lymph fluids moving, start to just to mobilize the joints in a really simple and easy way, preparing them for some bigger movement. So just last seconds here. And then let's reverse and start going in the opposite direction with your shoulders. And if you need to pause for a couple of seconds, if your shoulders start to get tired, you just pause and then come back. Again, this is a really small circle that we're doing with the shoulders. It doesn't have to be anything big, and you want to isolate so it's just your shoulders moving. Good, just a few more seconds here. All right, and rest. So the next thing now we're going to move down to is the wrists. And so I want to demonstrate how to not do this first. So moving your wrists and then moving the rest of your arms too. So what we want to do is just isolate the wrist. So I'm just doing a really small circle with just my wrist. So go ahead and join me if you haven't already. And you just want to just relax your fingers and do this as small as you have to in order to keep it isolated in the wrists. And the wrists are, I think, especially as we get older, they tend to get tighter, start to bother us. So you might find that you're really doing some pretty small circles here if your wrists are pretty tight, and that's okay. Small does not mean that there's no benefit. Okay, and then let's reverse and go in the other direction. And for me, going out first and then coming in, for some reason is a lot harder, so I have to slow it down a little bit and concentrate. Just make sure that I'm keeping this isolated in my wrists. Last seconds here. All right, and go ahead and pause. And I am gonna move you around, real quick, just to get a bigger view here. Bear with me 1 second. Get this sorted out, make sure you can see. Yep, okay. Okay, so final little mobility effort here. I'm gonna demonstrate this from the side. So just to watch me for a second, all this looks like is you either have your toes tucked under if you can. If not, you can keep your foot flat on the floor. And you're just gonna start sitting back on your heels and then squeeze your butts to come up forward and then sit back. So go ahead and join me. Like I said, if you can tuck the toes under. For me, I always feel a little tightness there with the toes and the ball of my foot. So sometimes I have to alternate between doing my tucked toes and then just letting my feet be flat. So do what you can here. The main thing is to feel your butt start to turn on. So as you come up, you're coming up because you're squeezing your butt and you're pressing your hips forward. Okay? And now we're going to start to add in another layer to this. So you're going to sit back on your heels, then you're going to squeeze your butt, squeeze your inner thighs to come forward, and then step one foot forward into a lunge, and then come back to both knees, sit back. We're gonna just keep doing that both sides. You're gonna squeeze the buttocks to sit up, press the hips forward, step 1 foot forward, and then step back. If you need to hang onto a wall or a chair next to you to do this, if you're finding yourself really wobbly, that's okay. One main thing that's gonna help with those wobbles is as you come up, so whichever leg you're standing on, so I'm standing on my left, stepping my right forward, I'm gonna keep squeezing that left buttock, keep pressing that left hip forward as I step the right back, or right forward. Then I'm gonna keep squeezing both buttocks and then sit back. So again, I'm gonna squeeze both buttocks to stand. Now I'm gonna step my left foot forward, but my right butt cheek is still squeezing and pressing forward as I step and back. So your ass, your butt, is really supporting you and helping to keep one leg stable so that you're free to move the other. And that's the idea here, is to learn how to use the glute muscles, the back of the body, to stabilize one leg as you step the other one forward. And it takes a little practice, and that's okay. So let's do just a couple more, concentrating on that standing leg. Keep squeezing that butt and pressing the hip forward so that your other leg is free to move. Let's do 2 more, or 3 if you need to be even on both sides. The last element here, in addition to the glutes being on, is the low belly. So you start to draw the low belly in as you squeeze the glutes. Then you've got a lot of powerful stability happening in the center of the body there, between the glutes and your low abs. All right, and then let's rest. So that can take a little while to get used to. As my teacher says, we are the assless society. So learning how to turn the ass on to support that movement can be a process, and that's okay. You're gonna continue to revisit that throughout our classes, so you'll have time to continue to work on that. So we're gonna jump right into some stability work. So we're still on the floor here. And if you are on a particularly hard floor, I should have said this earlier, get yourself a yoga mat and or a towel or blanket, something to lie here. And we're going to be putting weight on our elbow in a side plank. So if you need to, you can take a towel or a blanket and fold it up, place it underneath you, or double fold your yoga mat, place it underneath you. If you struggle with feeling pain, in the elbow joint here. So what we're going to be doing is a side plank, and I'm just going to demonstrate it quickly. So I'm just pressing into my hand as much as I can so that not all my weight's going into the elbow. There's Max Hemphill walking through, never mind him. And the elbow's right underneath my shoulder. And I'm not sinking my shoulder down, I'm lifting up. So again, broad palm of the hand, send as much weight there as you can. And then again, I'm squeezing my buttocks, squeezing my inner thighs, and pressing my hips forward to support me here, and I'm drawing the low belly in. So you're gonna do 3 to 5, aiming for 3 to 5 of these. So as I breathe in, I'm reaching my top arm up and looking up. And as I exhale, I'm going to thread that arm underneath me, taking a rotation in my rib cage, and then inhale up and rotate. And notice my hips are not going with me. I'm continuing to press the hips forward, so I'm only rotating the ribs as much as I can without taking the hips with me. All right? So 3 to 5 of these. We're going to do both sides. So go ahead and get set up. Let's get started. Come into your side plank on whichever side you're starting. Broaden your palm, squeeze your butt as you press your hips forward. Draw your low belly in. And then as you're ready, take an inhale, reach your top arm up. And then use your exhale to thread it underneath you, only going as far as you can while you keep your hips steady. And just move with your breath. Inhaling, reaching the hand up. Exhaling, threading it under. And keep going for at least one more. If you can get 2 more in, that's great. The more that you can squeeze that bum and draw the low belly in, the easier this will be for you, for your shoulder. And then once you've completed 3 to 5, stop, rest. Take a moment. You can watch me for just a second as I demonstrate again on the other side. So again, elbow and shoulder in alignment. I'm going to squeeze my butt. I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs as I press my hips forward. I'm going to use an inhale to reach this hand, my top arm up. And I'm going to use my exhale to thread and rotate my rib cage as I thread my arm under. Inhale up. Keep squeezing that butt, pressing the hips forward. Rotate under. Inhale up. Rotate under. Drawing the low belly in. So go ahead and set up for your other side. Let's get started on that side. 3 to 5 on the opposite side. All right, ready, set, go. So your ass is turned on. Your low belly is drawing in. You're lifting up out of that shoulder that you're supported with. And you're using the breath to move you through this movement, trying to isolate it just to your rib cage so that the hips are staying still and pressing forward, and you're twisting just the top of the body. And for a lot of people, you might not be able to twist far at all. Okay, that's normal as we age, as we sit more, so it's okay. You'll gain more mobility. If you stay with these classes, you'll gain more mobility, I promise. Once you finish 5, stop and rest. And I'm watching the clock right now. We're going to take a 30-second rest, and then we're going to do that again. Roll your wrists if you need to. Roll your head, loosen your neck a little bit. Just catch your breath. Let your heart rate come down. Max is watching me. Max just came from his chair fitness class. Was it good, bud? You look tired. Must have been. All right, 5 seconds. Get ready, get set up. We're going to go back to the first side. One more time again. Side planking. Ready, set, go. Get up there and immediately start once you're ready. Inhaling, reaching that top arm up. Exhaling to thread the arm underneath. 3 to 5. Keep squeezing those buttocks and pressing the hips forward as you lift up out of your standing shoulder. Good work, good work. And then once you finish, I'm just going to give it about 10 seconds here, and then we're going to move to the other side. All right, other side, go ahead and set up. Elbow alignment with shoulder, squeeze the hips, squeeze the buttock, press the hips forward. When you're ready, start. Inhale, reach that top arm up. Exhale, thread it under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it under. 3. Maybe go for 4, maybe go for 5. Good. And when you're done, just rest for a moment. I'm going to demonstrate our next movement. I'm going to get some weight to do this. Let's see, Max. I'm just going to demonstrate it with the 10 pounds. So, the next thing we're going to do here is a deadlift. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate this. And if you are a beginner, and you're primarily doing only body weight, then I would suggest doing this with a very light weight. It can be a dumbbell or it can be a kettlebell. I'm actually getting some steps in. It can be a rock from your garden. I don't care. Anything that just gives you just a little bit of weight, just a few pounds, okay? I think that will help you be able to actually feel this more in your body and understand what we're doing. So I'm going to demonstrate deadlift here. My knees are bent, not a whole lot, not squatting, but my knees are bent. I'm broadening through my feet so that I got the whole ball of my foot and my heel broad on the ground here. Just like we've been doing, I'm going to draw the low belly in, and I'm just going to let my shoulders kind of roll back and relax. So I'm going to come forward and pick up the weight by, as we were doing in squats on Monday, sending my weight back into my heels, bending my knees slightly. Notice my spine is long, it's not rounded. So I'm sending the top of my head forward, and I'm sending my tailbone back till I reach, and I'm bending my knees just enough so that I can reach the weight. I'm going to draw the shoulders back, draw the low belly in as I lift and press the hips forward. So we're going to do about 5 reps, 4 to 5 reps with this, okay? And so watch as I lower. I'm not going to lower all the way to the ground. I'm sending my weight back again and keeping my back nice and long, and then lift. And 2, and 3. So I'm not squatting, but I'm keeping my knees bent slightly. And then I'm again using my buttocks to come up. Okay, so just like that. And then to lower the weight all the way back down, I'm going to bend until my knees as much as I need to. Bending knees, not back. Back is straight, knees are bent, okay? So the size weight that I want you to use for this is something that you can do 5 reps with, and still, if you had to do 4 to 5 more, be fine to do that, okay? And so if you're not sure, start with a lighter weight until you start to build your awareness and your confidence level of being able to judge the weight. Like I said, if you're only doing primarily body weight, even if you just have a small stone or brick or something from your garden, then that will work here. So let's get going, get your weight, get set up. Again, make sure feet are hip width apart, nice and broad foot. Draw the low belly in, and when you're ready, bend your knees and start to go for your weight, and go ahead and start your 5 reps. Remembering, as you lift, squeeze your buttocks and let the shoulders come back. And as you lower, to make sure you're bending your knees and not your back. Taking your time to get your form right to do these first 5 reps. And then when you're done, just let the weight come down, and I'm going to start right now, 60-second rest, okay? And we're going to do that again. Yeah, next one. So this is a time where now you can start to think about, all right, was I being honest? Could I have done 4 to 5 more reps? If not, then your weight's a little bit heavy. If you know you could have done even more than that, then your weight's a little bit light. So you can adjust your weight for these next 2 rounds based on what you felt in that first. Max, don't follow Max, by the way. I know he's over here trying to show you something different. Hey, Mom. All right, let's go ahead and get your second round going. That's been 60 seconds. So get yourself set up, feet broad, hip width apart. When you're ready, bend your knees, start to pick up your weight. Go for 5 more reps. Go, go, go. Keeping your low belly in. Keeping the shoulders back as you lift. And using your glutes Squeezing your glutes, pressing in those hips forward to lift the weight. A nice easy bend in the knees. And after you've done 5, again, rest. We're going to do one more round of these, so take 60 seconds rest. Okay, about 15 more seconds. Maxie. Hey TY, can you set Max up with his music or something for me? Can you hear me? All right, let's get started with your last rep. So again, as you bend forwards, pick up your weight. Make sure your feet are in position. Bend those knees slightly, and as you pick that weight up, use your glutes. Use the back of the body, squeezing together and pressing forward to lift that weight. Using the strength of your core. When you're done, put that weight down. That was our last rep. So if you got all 5 in, good. However many you did today, that's better than nothing though, so just remember that. All right, so take a rest while I demonstrate what the sprint interval is gonna look like, okay? So if you are a brand new beginner, if you don't even remember the last time that you jumped up and down, this is going to be a really simple exercise for you. Jumping jacks, okay? So this is the beginner version of today's plyometrics. Now, for those of you who have a little more confidence, want to challenge yourself, then what we're going to be doing are scissor jumps and some crawls. So it's going to look like this. All right, it's not anything graceful. You're gonna be 1, 2, 3, and up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then rest. 6 to 8 if you can on the scissor jumps. And it might actually be easier to do those on a hard floor, heads up. So I'm gonna give you 20 seconds to decide and get ready. And then we're going first round. So it's either jumping jacks or the more advanced version I just showed you. Ready, set, wherever you're starting, now, go. Jacks or crawls. Remembering that you want to go at a good pace, you want to finish, but you should be sounding like I am sounding by the end of this. Barely able to speak, okay? If you're doing the crawls, you finish, get your scissor jumps going. If you're doing scissor jumps, use your arms. Swing your arms to help with lifting you up, okay? And know that the rhythm is kind of a and. We should all be finishing up right about now. So 60 seconds rest. Sorry, 2 minutes rest. 2 minutes rest, at least. You want to have your heart rate back down, kind of be breathing, maybe not 100% normal, but pretty normally before you start the next round. That's why we call these sprint intervals. This is not quite the same as like a high intensity interval training. That's something that we will be learning how to do if you join the full program starting next week, okay? But the sprint intervals are intended to really be a big burst of movement, quickly getting the heart rate up in a short amount of time with then plenty of recovery in between, okay? So we still got another 70 seconds at least. And like I said, if you need to take longer, if you need to take closer to 3 minutes, then that's fine. So listen to your body, listen to your own breath. So if you are doing these crawls, like there's really, I just have no technique to them, but I do keep my knees a little bit bent. You can see I just kind of push back and then come back out. Push back and then come back out. Push back, come back out. So, yeah, I'm starting to get warm. I'm gonna take a layer off. All right, our 2 minutes is almost up. Yep, ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're ready, let's go. Either jacks or start your crawls out. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Push your pace, push your pace. You don't have long to go. You don't have long to go. You're probably starting your scissor jumps now if that's what you're doing. So remember, use your arms, swing, and swing, and swing. And keep going a few more seconds. A few more seconds. Keep going 5 more seconds if you can. 3, 2, 1, and pause. Rest. Nice, 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 nice. So, quick water break. So while you're resting, I'm going to demonstrate the next series, which is now our heavyweight series. I call it heavyweight for those of you who are using weight. Okay. If you're not using weight, if you're sticking with the beginner level, that is totally good. Just know you're going to be doing a whole bunch of one-legged lunges. And if you've got, if you know your balance is a little off, I'm going to show you what this movement is so that you might, and how to use, you see I'm just using my window here. So we are simply doing a lunge to stand, to lunge, to stand, to lunge, to stand, okay? An easier version of that is just up and lunge, and up and lunge, okay? So just giving you those 2 options and giving you the option of using a chair or the wall if you need for your balance. What does that look like with weight? What that looks like with weight is the weight is on the outside of the body. So I'm using a kettlebell. You can use a dumbbell. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you about which weight to start with in just a second. I just want to demonstrate the movement first. So starting in the lunge here, and I'm going to use a hand on the knee just to brace myself here to pick up this weight. I'm drawing the low belly in. I'm squeezing with my butt, the leg that is standing, okay? And both of my feet are nice and broad. So stand. Whew, I might need the wall today. And step back. Up. And step back. Okay, so pretty simple, but not necessarily easy. Definitely gonna test your balance. So again, you have the option of doing just the lunge, keeping your legs in that scissor position, coming up and down. Okay, or you have the option of additionally challenging yourself with that leg coming forward, and then stepping back. So we're gonna do 2 rounds with a lighter weight. So the first round, I want you to choose a weight that you can do 8 to 10 of these with, and know that you could still do 6 more if you want to, okay? Just ignore that banging, that's Max. Trying to steal the show. So the first round, again, is a weight that you know you can do at least 8 to 10, and you can still do 5 to 6 more. That may mean doing this with no weight to start. And if you're not sure, then just start with no weight, okay? So let's get set up, get your weight, get into position if you're using the wall. And let's everybody just, for ease sake, start with your right leg forward, okay? And when you're ready, just set up, squeeze the left leg. That glute should be active, left glute active, squeezing, pressing forward. Both feet are nice and broad. Brace yourself if you need to pick up your weight, if that's what you're using, and go ahead and get started with your first round. 1, and down, and 2, and down, and keep going. 3. Remembering that the more that you draw your core in here, the more you use your glutes, squeezing them together, the more stable you're going to feel here. And other than that, just trust yourself, trust your body. Should be wrapping up. Okay. So, starting right now, I'm counting a 30-second rest before you do your other side. So let your heart rate come down. Give yourself this space and this time. And then let's get set up. Get ready to go to the other side. Go ahead when you're ready. And begin left leg now. So as you're moving through your 8 to 10 reps here, again, draw that low belly in. How many times? I don't know. I'm going to say it thousands of times this year teaching these classes. Squeeze that glute for the leg that you're standing on. And last piece of advice here too would be allow the front of your ribs to drop down a little bit and feel the back of the ribs expanding and lifting you up as you lift. And I think we should all be just about finishing up. Okay, so yeah, so hopefully that first round gave you a sense of where you're at with this, and now you know what your next weight level is going to look like, or you have some sense of it. So we're going to move to a medium weight for the second round. Okay, so that means that you can do 7 reps and still have 4 to 5 left in you. Okay, so that means that you need to move up at least 5 pounds, if not 10, if you are using weight. And again, you can just continue to do this without weight. And what I will say that if you're doing this without weight, then each round you're going to feel your fatigue kick in a little sooner. And that should be your information of like, okay, do 1 more and then stop. All right. So we're going to give it another 15 seconds, and then we're going to go back to your first side, moving up to if you're using a medium weight. And in that 15 seconds, I want to say, when it comes to the core, drawing in the low belly, but also if you can get that sense of, instead of pushing the front of the ribs forward, letting the front of the ribs come down and feeling the back of the ribs nice and broad, that will help keep you, in alignment as you come up to standing on one leg. Yeah? So try that for this round. Let's go ahead, get set up, get started. When you're ready, go, go, go. 7 reps. 7 reps. Taking your time as you need to, focusing on your form, focus on using your core, focus on what I just said about allowing the front of the ribs to come down and the back of the ribs to broaden. Okay, should be finishing up. So we're going to take 20 seconds and then we're going to go to the other side. Five seconds. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Start your other side. 7 reps on the left side now. Focusing again on that form. Taking your time. Having confidence in your core and the strength of your glutes to lift you and keep you in balance. And then when you're done, come to rest. Okay. We're starting right now. We're going to take 45 seconds before we do our last 2 rounds. So this is the quote unquote heavy round. So again, for those of you using weight, you want to max out at 5. So that means that you should be carrying a weight that feels heavy enough that by the time you reach 5, you could if you had to, but you'd really be pushing hard to do 1 or 2 more. All right, so over the course of this program, part of the learning is really getting confident and really getting a sense of just how strong you are. And if you are just beginning, it's best guess and go a little lighter. If you're not sure lighter or heavier, go a little lighter in this first heavy round. And if at the end of that, okay, I really could have done, more, then go up 5-10 pounds for the very last round. So let's get set up. Find your heavy weight. And it's really going to vary depending on the experience levels here. So this right here is a 30-pound weight for me. And if you're going for a heavy weight, then I suggest using that wall as a support here, just while you try out using the heavy weight to do this, because yeah, it's a lot. Okay, and the wall is always there, and then you can always let go as needed, as you become more confident. So get your weight set up. Here we go, starting in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start now. 5 rep maximum. Using that wall as you need to. Telling yourself, reminding yourself that you are strong and you can do this. When you're done with those 5, pause. We're going to give ourselves 30 seconds and then we're going to do the other side. So again, if you are beginner and using really light weight, not fluctuating your weight, you're just moving to that point, like I said, of feeling fatigued. So you may get to that point, or you might be there already, where you're like, 1 of these is enough. Remember, 1 is more than 0, okay? And you may also get to a point where you're like, I'm really done, and that's okay. That's completely fine. You're still doing a great job. So if you're there, then you just get a little more time to rest before we move into our upper body work. All right, here we go. Next side, let's go. 5 round on the left side. Get yourself set up, using the wall if you need to. Focus on your form, focus on telling yourself you've got this, and get those 5 reps done. All right, so coming to rest. All right, we're going to take about 40 seconds before we do the next side. Whew. This is good work, and it's really, really good work for the ankles and the knees and all the little tiny muscles and ligaments that we don't ever think about working, that are actually doing a lot of work to keep us stable, to keep us upright. Keeping those ankles and those knees strong is something that I think ever more about as each birthday comes. Max, TY is calling you. All right, here we go. Last round, starting on the right. Let's go. Get your heavy weight. Get your feet down. Get your feet broad. Draw your low belly in. Squeeze your buttocks. And when you're ready, go ahead and begin with your 1. And down. And your 2. And down. And your 3. And down. And your 4. And down. And 1 more. Yeah, good. Good. 30 seconds rest. And we're gonna do the other side. Max, T, I need you. Can you go to her? Get out of here. Get out of here. T, I need you.
Come on, buddy.
Here we go. Other side. Let's go. Set it up. Both feet broad. Squeeze your glutes. Draw that low belly in. Front of the rib cage down as you stand. 1 and 2 and 3. Press down into that heel. It's okay if you're shaking a little bit. You got 1 more. Whew. Good. All right, take just a minute to rest. We're gonna move to the upper body. We're gonna grab some water. So, while you're resting from that, I'm gonna show you the upper body movement, okay? This is the moderate to advanced version. You are going to need a box or a chair. Yeah, if you don't have something like this, just grab a chair, one that is sturdy, because we're doing rows and you're gonna need to put your weight on it. So what this looks like, we're gonna do a drop set method. I'll explain that in a second. But the movement is this. My feet are wide. I'm basically making a triangle with my feet. They're wider than my hips, my feet, and my hand resting on this box here. Okay, so I'm not sinking down on my shoulder. I'm pressing up. Notice my spine is not rounded. I'm lengthening head and tailbone away from each other. Okay, so that I can row. And I'm pulling my elbow up and in close to my body. And I am not torquing my rib cage, I'm keeping it still and steady. Just pulling that elbow in and close to my body. Okay, so that is the movement. That is if you are using weight. If you're not using weight, again, this movement is going to require some little bit of weight, even if it's a soup can. Okay, I use the old school thing, like I said, or a stone. You can do this option that I just showed you. The other option, if you have a weight band at the house, is something really simple. So I'm just standing, I'm gonna put the ball of my foot on this to create tension. I'm leaning forward slightly, not rounding forward, but I'm leaning my chest forward slightly so that I can, what? Row, row, row. Same thing as I'm pulling my elbow back and in close to my torso, and I'm not twisting my torso, keeping my chest facing forward as I row, okay? So, drop set. The drop set, if you're using various weights, is basically reverse of what we just did. We're gonna start with the heaviest weight, and then without rest, we're gonna move down to the next weight, and then down to the next weight, and then down. So you need 4 weights, starting with the heaviest. Again, something that you can do 5 rounds with, or 5 repetitions with, but by the end of those 5, maybe you've got 1 or 2 left and that's it. And then choose a weight that's 5 pounds or so, 3 to 5 pounds less, and then 3 to 5 pounds less, and then 3 to 5 pounds or less. The drop set is, I just learned about this, that there's been some good science and studies around it. It's a really good and a just as efficient way as what we just did previously, going from light to heavy. It's just as effective at breaking down the muscle, building strength, even in growing muscle size, but it's a little more efficient and faster. So we're gonna try it with this. So let's get set up. If you've got your weight band, great. If you've got your soup can or your rock, or if you've got a series of weights you're using, let's get them set up. Get your chair set up, get ready to go. Again, as you get into your tripod stance, just feel that whole palm, so you're not in the wrist, you're not in the top of the palm, the whole palm is supporting you. Everybody draw your low belly in. Lengthen from the top of your head out through your tailbone. Get ready, grab your weight, and let's go for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Let that weight go. Switch, get your next round, your next lighter weight. And ready? As soon as you're ready, hit it. So now we're going for 7. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and drop that weight. Get your next lightest weight. Get ready, we're going for 10, okay? Set up, ready, go ahead, and 1, and 2, and 3. Keep that elbow pulling in. Keep your core drawing in, low belly drawing in. Keep lengthening out through the crown of the head and your tailbone. And then once you're done with those, drop that weight, get your last round of weight. And go ahead with that last round, this last round, the lighter weight, we're gonna do 12. If you're not doing your weighted series, if you're fatigued out, that's fine. If you've got a few more in, go for it. And once you finish your 12, pause. We're gonna take about 45 seconds, and then we're gonna switch to the other side, and this is it. This is the last round. So again, so if I didn't say earlier, or make it more clear before, if you are not using multiple weights, then again, you're just working to fatigue in as many rounds as you can. Okay, getting familiar with, getting familiar with where your body's at, knowing that it's gonna change too. You're gonna progress, and then you're also gonna have days where you just have more energy. So it takes a little while, but the more that you listen, the more you get confident in knowing where your body's at and knowing what it's capable of doing right now, today. Our bodies are pretty wise. They're pretty wise. All right, let's get set up. So we're gonna do that same thing on the other side, okay? So you're gonna start, if you're using your weight, using multiple weights, get your heavy weight set up, get ready to start with just your 5 reps. Your other weight's close by. So let's go ahead and hit it. Get yourself into position, into your tripod position. Broad hand, broad feet. Draw the low belly in, lengthen the spine, and when you're ready, go for 5. Keep that elbow coming in. 4. Remembering not to torque or twist the upper body, you're just squeezing the elbow up and back. And 5. And then stop. And then immediately move to your light weight, your next lightest weight. Going for 7. Okay. 7 round. Keeping that spine nice and long. Using your inhale, you can use your inhale and your exhale. Maybe exhale as you pull up. Inhale as you come down. When you finish that 7, move to your next lightest weight. Go for 10. As you move, try not to lose your form. Remember to broaden your feet, broaden the palm of your hand where your weight is. Try to balance your weight across that tripod triangle area. Once you hit 10, your last round again is 12 reps with the lighter weight. Moving straight into it. Moving straight up to the end of this workout. Okay. So if you're finished, good job, great job. Yeah. I was just saying before this, I was just kind of saying a little prayer, and I was saying thank you for this body that can move. Thank you for the will to show up for myself. So thank you also for doing the same. Thank you for your body. Thank you for your body. All right, so we're gonna move into some recovery by TY. And I've got another group waiting on me, so I'm gonna give you this recovery and then I'm gonna leave you to do it, okay? So it's a really quick and easy thing. If you will with me on Monday, it's the same thing that we did then. This is just one of the best things to do when you need an efficient recovery. You're just gonna lay on one side, you're gonna bend the top knee, and you're gonna let the bottom leg be long. Arms out to your side, okay? Head is resting on the ground, and we're just gonna sweep the top arm overhead and draw a circle coming all the way around. If you can, tuck that hand all the way under the low back, and then keep going, coming back around, swinging it overhead, just like this. Real easy, trying to let your body weight drop into the floor. Trying to let your body weight just open that chest as you open up. And you may be pretty tight. Your arm may not stay on the ground like mine is. You may not be able to open quite as far as I am. and that's okay. Okay, this is not about forcing, this is just about allowing. So I want you to do a few of these on whichever side you start. And then pause with the chest open, and if you can, take at least one breath in and out here. If you can take 3 or 4, even better. Okay, but whatever feels okay in your body. Then I want you to move over and do that same thing on the other side. So, and if you've got a little bit of time just to let yourself relax and breathe, laying on your back, even if it's just 5 deep breaths, give yourself that space. If you can give yourself 5 minutes there, that's even better. So thank you again for joining me. We start next week the full program. That's going to include our cardio work via walking or jogging or swimming, whatever you prefer. So there'll be more for me coming over the weekend. All right. Great work. See you soon.